because yeah, that's how you plug in. Okay, folks, track 3, 25 seconds to game time. I'm G.I. Jones. I've got HP Shovecraft with me. And we've got Denver going up against the Vancouver Murder. And an amazing bit of volume on the speakers here.
Hello, I'm HP Shovecraft, excited to be here for this noon game. We've got Denver Ground Control taking on the Vancouver Murder.
Some awesome playing coming out of both these teams this weekend.
Yeah, a lot of men's derby action, obviously. We've got juniors here, women's. It's all weekend. For those of you not in the Pacific Northwest, you're missing out at home. It is beautiful weather. We've got sunshine skies.
In Canada, well, Celsius. 29 degrees Celsius today here in Eugene, Oregon for the Big O.
Driving straight up the line and out of bounds. It looks like we've got a lead jammer.
That is Mr. Testosterone for the Vancouver Murder out first with lead. He had an amazing success rate last night, taking in lead and getting points.
Straight through, picks up the 5. 43 Hughes out there for Denver, trying to find a little space in that Vancouver wall, and Red is rushing. As we've got 4 at the front trying to hold that down.
Another 5 in the sky for Mr. Testosterone. Meanwhile, Hughes still locked down, has not made it his initial pass, and 5 more going up there for Mr. T.
Last night, Lane County playing Denver, one of the last games of the evening at the Big O. Denver putting up a substantial win over Lane. And that was probably about 9-10 hours ago, so not a lot of turnaround time here on these games.
That's right. Mr. T having a great turnaround on another 5-point pass, however, and he's back into that pack. That's putting up 20 points so far, and he's going to drag another 5 if he can get through these last 2 blockers of Denver.
Murder swarming. There's Walker with a takedown there on Hughes. He's going to go to the box. Looks like that was, I didn't see the call. It could have been a low block. 30 seconds in the box, and it looks like we got a call off for the Murder.
There you go, another 5 in the sky, bringing that total to 25 on the first jam of this game. Denver getting locked down and putting 1 in the penalty box. Walker heading there, and Stelly sitting in there for Denver. Okay, on the line, we've got Lodge lining up against Sparrow, number 98 for Denver. Lodge on the last line of defense for Denver, gets through and picks up lead for Vancouver.
Denver trying to make their way out, and not a lot of space on that inside line. Takedown, courtesy of Nelson, 2-2 for Vancouver.
Lodge through the pack once, and picking up 5 points on his first scoring pass.
Sparrow trying to make it happen here in turn 4, and that is a very tight 3 wall for Vancouver near their front. Good use of brace there to try to hold that down.
And some offense attempt by Denver, but not able to get Sparrow through that pack as Lodge comes around once more.
Lodge with a good inside move, and it looks like he picks up, yep, all 5 points on the pass.
Nelson heading to the penalty box, as is Svensson for a Murder. This might be the opportunity that Denver's been waiting for. Only 1 blocker left out on the track, but that is Gordon Walker. And Gordon Walker, as a blocker, is incredibly successful, knocking out Sparrow and recycling him, then heading to the front to join his partner.
Yeah, Vancouver up to 2 at the front, so pack advantage favoring Denver. For those of you at home, red tops are Vancouver, and our blue, I guess it is Denver Ground Control.
And Sparrow is out of the pack. Lodge to the front. He's going to try to kill the penalties. Waits to call it and then does, locking Sparrow out from picking up any points.
All right, so early score, we've got 0 for Denver, 49 for Vancouver, 26:04 here in this first period of play. This is the third and final day of the Big O, which is sad, G.I. Jones.
It is heading home tomorrow for me. Of course, because it's an 18-hour drive, so, you know, I'm not going to leave today after the after party.
18 hours, only 6 short of a full day. That's
only 18 hours.
That's a good drive. Stelly out there for Denver, trying to find some space in the middle of that red wall. Not a lot of it as he's pushed out, and he'll be recycled into turn 1.
And Kremley Budakrup out there with the star for Vancouver, pushing against that strong Denver defense that have managed to hold him down.
And Denver doing a good job in the long recycle there. We've got a lead jammer, courtesy of number 4, Stelly, as Denver grabs their first lead jam of the game.
And I'm seeing 4 points going up on the board for Denver. They've finally broken the seal on the scoring. Let's see if they continued with it as they did last night. And we've got the bigger Stelly out on the jam line with Mimero from Vancouver, number 23.
Denver all walled up at the back. That triangle at the front is Vancouver. Pack advantage for the ground control as Stelly moving left and right. Finds his way out on the inside line. He is your lead jammer for Denver.
Looks like Stelly got a shot to the face. He's favoring his nose. I believe a penalty was issued to Gordon Walker. Not sure if it's related or not. Svensson taking a swing at Stelly. Stelly dancing around and getting through, picking up 4 points.
Denver yesterday choosing to run at times, keeping that fast pace, working out 2-minute jams. Here they have lead and they're opting to take points and time once again.
And 4 points going to the Mimero on that pass. 4 more to Stelly as he calls off the jam, locking out Mimero on that pass, putting up 8 on the board to Vancouver's 4.
Looks like we might have a little blood on the track. Not literally.
Oh, I was going to say, that's going to be a big stoppage of time, and all the sponsors will be announced. Okay, on the track, Mr. Testosterone going up against Hughes. Both teams choosing to start near the pivot line, giving the jammers an excellent start, running start, and Hughes is first out of the pack and will have lead for Denver.
Hughes with a great job of bumping off the line to try to create some space on the inside for himself. He takes advantage, gets lead, and Vancouver once again in that triangle near the front. Hughes, not liking what he sees, calls off the jam.
As 0-0 jam, no winner on that one.
And let's talk about Bont. Lighter, stronger, faster, be your best. Be Bont.
Sure. I have some Bonts. I beat Bont when I wear them. On the track, Lodge lining up with Sparrow. 2 in the box for Denver. That's going to be a big advantage for the Vancouver jammer.
Redwall at the front, pack advantage once again. Vancouver and pushing through on that outside line. That's Lodge, lead jammer for the murder.
That was a great offense by the blockers for Vancouver. They just wrapped themselves around the 2 blockers that were there for Denver, and Lodge stepped around the outside, got through.
We do have a power jam here.
Once again.
Sorry. We got a cutting of the track. That'll be 30 seconds in the box for Sparrow, and that means Vancouver an opportunity to put some points up.
As that power jam was called, Lodge had already put 5 in the sky and picked up 5 points. He gets another 5 as he heads around.
Denver with all 4 blockers on the track, trying to put a stop. Getting back around is Lodge, hips around. Nice move in turn 3.
Calling off the jam just as the Denver's jammer stands up. That'll lock him in there for at least another 10 seconds.
And you probably noticed in the merch area, we do have Bruise Skate Noose, the original over-the-shoulder roller skate holder. Bruise Skate Noose.
On the line all by himself, Kremley Budakram. Each team down one blocker, and they're going to move right back and shake things up a bit. As Kremley gets through, picks up lead.
Oh, good effort there by Denver to try to put the stops on. Giving up the body for the slide. And we're back to two jammers with Sparrow in that three wall of Murder at the back.
A lot of experience on that blocking line right now. Tischborn and Standaside, both of them senior to the Vancouver Murders. So they've been skating for decades, if I'm not mistaken, in the industry and speed skating and stuff like that. So they are fast on their feet, and they are quick to block that opposing jammer.
Vancouver's showing off that box that we see several of the high-level women's teams using this weekend. And knocking Sparrow out is Standaside. You just mentioned him. She'll be taken back into turn 2.
Oof. Kremley getting his feet taken out from under him. Calls off the jam. Wincing in a little bit of pain. That's one of those Charlie horse moves. You lead with the butt. It's a legal blocking zone and a legal hitting zone. So took out his leg. He's going to go shake that off.
Let's talk about the score. We've got 12 for Denver, 73 for Vancouver, 1935 on the board. And for those of you at home, the blue tops are Denver Ground Control. Red is the Vancouver Murder, all the way from Canada.
And Stelly on the line, going up against Mimero. Nobody in the penalty box, 4-on-4 defense here. Both lines having all their troops ready to go.
Stelly trying the outside. He's got to get through in turn 2. And great moves there to get out in front.
Yeah, a little bit of jammer on jammer wrestling match going here.
And we saw some of these dogfights last night in the Lane County game from Denver as well. Attempted 360 on the inside line, not an easy move.
Last night, Lambo Arfides did that amazing face-to-face move against an opposing team's jammer, and at the last second rotated, and that jammer engaged him in the back, got a back block. It was classic. It was beautiful, and you know, sometimes if you've got that skill set as a jammer, use it, and Lambo Arfides of San Diego definitely did last night.
Yeah, it's about 359 more degrees than I can turn on a skates, unfortunately.
Speaking of turning on skates, we've got Mr. Testosterone out on the track going up against Baby Stelly, the younger of the two Stellys that are on the Denver team.
And we're full strength. All the skaters on the track. Doesn't happen too often. Always exciting when it does. Stelly's going to be recycled by Bennett into turn 1. That red box of Vancouver Murder holding it down in turn 2.
Mr. Testosterone with lead. As Stelly finally through the back and out. Oh, looks like a
forearm call, yeah. So in the box, 30 seconds goes Mr. Testosterone. This is a power jam opportunity for Denver, and opportunity for them to put some big points up if they can work out this power jam.
If they can crack that Vancouver defense.
Swarming Vancouver defense.
There you go. So the way to do it is to knock them out with penalties.
5 points on the pass. Denver looking to add to that.
And Denver choosing to let the jammer fight his way and then throw some offense in. That's Cotton, number 77, helping him out. As Stelly gets through, pops up, gets 5 in the sky, and comes back around for another scoring pass.
All right, we're back to two jammers. Mr. Testosterone with a hit there, and it looks like we have had a successful star pass.
And we've had a successful penalty issued to Testosterone for that hit. Not sure what the call was. Looks like a forearm once again. And that's going to put the new jammer out on a power jam for Denver.
Linzo, number 36 for Denver. Yes, 4 points on the pass. And Denver, I believe, ends with 19 on that jam.
If you just announce it, then they'll put the score up because that's what they like to do to announcers. As soon as you announce the score, they're going to modify it. So Vancouver with 82, Denver 29.
Denver making good use of that power jam opportunity. 72 is Stelly. And he's the lone star on the track.
Too many skaters fielded to the track. Or maybe not. No, Zimmer's just over here checking out the medics.
Wow, talk about changing your level. Almost on track level was Stelly. And we've got an improper pass there, or no pass, no penalty. So
Stelly is out, but not lead, as Mr. Testosterone heads back to the track. And Stelly leads with the head. He is going to leave on a penalty, and that's going to give the opportunity for lead and a power jam to Mr. Testosterone.
Cruz out there, last line of defense on Mr. Testosterone before he busted out. Really good offense there for the Murderer as they make short work of that wall. 5 points on the board.
Watching some interesting interaction between the NSOs and the head ref. There are too many skaters on the track for Denver. There's one in the box, 4 out there. There you go. They figured it out. The head NSO yelling, or the penalty box manager yelling to the head ref, and that got sorted out after all.
Mr. Testosterone calling it off. That's going to take us to 29 for the ground control. Murder at 94. Once again, blue tops, Denver. Red tops, Vancouver. And 14:04 on the clock as we go to an official timeout.
As you can imagine, yes, with that little bit of confusion on numbers and stuff, it is an official timeout. I see Gordon Walker talking with his coach about a potential penalty / official review. He's looking to perhaps throw it the way of the officials. We shall see what comes out of that.
And it's a great opportunity to remind you about a couple of the sponsors that help to make all this Derby magic happen all weekend. One of them is Castle Megastore. They do have those neck massagers on display in track 1. And we also have Eugene Cascades and Coast Sports Commission helping to make the Big O possible, as well as the Eugene Weekly. All proud sponsors of this event. Eugene Weekly proudly supports Emerald City Roller Derby. And we like roller derby, so we like our sponsors.
You know what we also like? Not just roller derby, but roller derby after parties. And of course, this being the last day of Big O means it's Sunday, and Sunday means we've got 2 different after parties going on. We've got the all ages after party, of course, because we've got juniors at this Big O tournament. At the Sizzle Pie, that's starting this evening. It doesn't really have a time on it. I'm going to imagine it's after the last games. And then at 9 p.m., the 21 plus at the Wayward Lamb. DJ Meow will be there rocking the tunes. And there'll be snacks if you get there early enough, and specialty cocktails to finish the night with no cover because Big O.
If you have an opportunity, you definitely do want to check out Sizzle Pie. Tonight's a great time to do it. The pizza is delicious.
I recall last year I did both after parties. I went and got some pizza, and then I made my way to the Big Boy Bar. And don't forget, if you are from out of town, not from Oregon, you are going to need your passport and some valid ID if you go to this party.
All right, brief discussion in the middle. It looks like we're kind of getting everything settled here.
It was not an official review. It was just an official huddle discussion.
A chat, a fireside chat.
A chitty chat. Yeah. And a reminder also, I have ketchup and all-dressed potato chips here from Canada. If you're from out of town and you've never tried those, come on up to the announcer stand in between the 2 halves, and I will share my chips with you.
He also brought Cubans, but those are not to be shared.
What? Cubans? Oh, yes. Well, you guys can go there now, can't you?
I think officially. All right, we've got Lodge on the track. He's past the last line of defense, grabbing lead jammer for Vancouver Murder as we get back to the MRDA action here on day 3. Through again, picking up 5 on the pass. Walker out there.
Having fun, playing with his food. He was having a great time playing with the pivot for Denver. Successfully popping him out after a couple of attempts and then bringing him back all the way.
Stelly out on his initial pass for Denver.
Lodge through for 4 points, locking out Stelly. 9 on the board for Vancouver, 103-29. Now and then. Good to see some of the other MRDA players sitting out on the edge of the track, watching, scouting their fellow players / competitors. And out of the back first, Kremley with lead for Vancouver.
43 is Hughes for Denver. He'll be recycled in turn 1 by that swarming Murder defense.
Yep, Tischborn at the back there, number 66, pulling him back. Kremley through for 5 points.
Yeah, a little shaken up a couple jams ago, so it's good to see him back on the track for the Murder.
And Zimmer, not a big player, but a big hitter, knocks out Hughes and pulls him back while he wears the pivot for Vancouver. And once again, Zimmer just clipping him.
Cruz with that hit on the inside, doing a great job of holding down that line.
Some great work by the Denver defense, putting Kremley out a couple times in a row now, as both jammers get recycled. Vancouver down to 3 blockers. Russian destruction in the penalty box with his yellow skates.
Trying to push on that brace wall, and the anchor is Salvador. Cruz on the inside line. Denver really holding it down this time through.
Hughes almost staying in bounds with that little bit of a reverse skate, but then getting taken out. And Budikar through the pack finally will add 5 more points to the score.
He worked for that for sure.
Oh, he did, and Hughes is working for his points, or his initial pass, if I'm not mistaken.
Stand aside, holding down the back of that wall for Vancouver.
And Tischborn getting a direction of gameplay penalty as he pushed backwards on Hughes to prevent him from doing the star pass, which he has finally completed and handed off.
Budikar with 5 on the last pass, and looks like he might have got some hips on that one as well.
And Broderick receiving the star, equally as fatigued as both jammer and pivot were reaching out to each other. It looked like something out of a movie, you know, the Titanic or something, and unable to get that until they finally got Tischborn in the box on a penalty.
Definitely bromantic. It was a bromantic moment.
Bromantic, yes.
10:15 here in the first period.
Mimero and Stelly on the line with the stars for their teams.
Pack advantage Denver.
I'm going to say Tischborn still in the penalty box.
And Stelly on the inside line. He makes his way through. Denver lead jammer. Little change of pace. Denver could use some momentum here.
And Mimero through the pack.
And 4 points awarded to Denver. And speaking of awarded, Notorious RED, you can be awarded for your rewarding play this weekend from Notorious Gear Deodorant by Notorious RED. Smell clean even if you play dirty. Notorious RED.
That was good. That was smooth. I like that. Mr. Testosterone going up against Sparrow on the line. If anybody needs Notorious RED, it's these sweaty jammers that are doing all kinds of work on the track. And whistle blew, but the penalty did not stick.
It's a Teflon penalty. Mr. Testosterone recycled and now out. He is lead for Vancouver.
Whoa, look at that. Sparrow doing a great job of going up against Zimmer and Bennett. Their last line of Vancouver defense. Now they're going to come and help their jammer out. Do a little house cleaning there. Put Mr. T through.
He has
I feel Gordon Walker wants them to skate. I'm not too positive on that.
strong-looking beard there for Mr. Testosterone as he pushes it into the Denver defense. Salvador chest-to-chest with him briefly before he made his way through.
And looks like the Denver defense is losing two of their guys. And if that other skater stays off, that's going to put three of them out of the way of Mr. T, and he gets right through.
Broderick and Cruz out there, Sparrow jamming for Denver, and all four of those blockers braced by stand aside for the murder.
Look at that. And Zimmer just waited for that opportunity to knock out Sparrow, but he picked up a penalty as he did it directionally.
Yeah, he came backwards, so of course you can't go counterclockwise and make that hit. Mr. Testosterone picked up 5 on the last pass.
Getting heckled by the likes of Quadzilla and his gang over on turn 3. He still has time to chat with them. No. I think they're asking him to blow him kisses, but he's saying, nope, not today, guys. No kisses for you.
4 more points on the last pass, and Sparrow out on his initial pass. No, sorry, scoring pass, 4 points for Denver.
He will pick up 4. He looks a little tired after getting them, but he has put 4 up on the board.
And another of our great sponsors here for the Big O is Hit This Derby Gear. Derby owned and operated. Before you hit the track, hit this. Visit the store in Salem, Oregon, or online at hitthisderbygear.com.
Okay, on the line, Lodge with Stelly. Stelly seeing that inside line and dancing through, picking up a lead for Denver.
Yeah, really nice move there to get himself out and almost through. And
no pass, no penalty for Lodge as he was engaged, but the blocker went down with him as he took him out. Woo! Stelly dodging a hit from Walker.
Looks like he's checking his face to make sure it's still connected. Might have been a little bit of contact to the nose area.
It looks like that's the second time that's happened. Stelly's not happy about it. Makes his way into that Vancouver wall. Solid dodging and calling off of the jam, but 2 points going up for Vancouver. I don't know how these jam refs, keep track of those feet that are moving that quick.
Some flashy footwork on display for sure for both teams. Our score, 44 Denver. Those are blue tops. Red tops, 150. That's the Vancouver murder. And we're down to 5:30 in this MRDA action. Noon was our start here on Sunday. Beautiful day outside.
Oh, gorgeous out there. We have a timeout going to Denver. That'll give us a chance to remind everybody that, yes, this is the tail end of the weekend, but don't forget to visit the Travel Lane County table in the lobby, because they have maps of the town, and you can find out everywhere you need to go. Food, entertainment, etc., etc. And speaking of entertainment, tomorrow here in Oregon, we have the VRDL Boot Camp. Tickets still available for that. If you want to improve your skating and you want to help out Victoria, who got all the way out here from Australia once again, VRDL Boot Camp, great way of doing it, great way of enhancing your skating ability, and that is tomorrow. Not here in this building, but another local building, and that is tomorrow. Tickets still available. Be sure to get them.
8,000 miles. Victoria coming from 8,000 miles away there in Australia. So they won for farthest, and I think they're still the reigning champ in that area for the Big O.
Anybody can even compete against that. Unless I had walked. If I had walked from home, time-wise, I think it would have been longer, but not distance.
I think you said 16 by car, so yeah, that sounds about right. That's a long trip by foot. Maybe with wagons. Covered wagons, you could have done it.
I'm looking here at the little fun stats they've gotten. Windy City came from 1,800 miles. And the Auld Reekie from Scotland, 4,700 miles. Just to be with us and watch Hughes up against Boudicca on the track with their stars on, hoping to score points for their respective teams, but Hughes knocked out by Tichborne and recycled.
Tichborne again with a recycle, just a tornado of destruction there for the murder.
And Zimmer, matter of factly, standing back there as in, you're going to recycle back here where I am. And Hughes launches into that defense, splits them, but they just reset and get up front together once again. Stand aside doing some offense for Kremley. And he will get lead, and at the same time, Broderick will earn a cutting the track penalty, attempting to stop Kremley.
He was unable to stop his momentum, push through the middle, and so he'll spend 30 seconds in the box. Boudicca through, picking up 5 points for Vancouver.
And Hughes still locked down at the back, waiting on that initial pass, but he just gets knocked out and recycled by stand aside, but it looks as though he has handed off that star to Salvador. And Salvador, eager to get into that front Vancouver pack and push his way through.
All 4 Denver defenders back to the track, trying to put the stops on for Boudicca. And it looks like we have had a star pass, successful. Salvador wearing that number 2 for ground control. We haven't seen him so far with the star.
I have not seen Salvador with the star yet today. Kremley, of course, with it on numerous occasions, and right through the pack, 5 in the sky for him.
And that red wall once again in turn 2, proving to be a problem for Denver Jammers. 5 points for Boudicca as number 68 racks up some more for Vancouver.
And that jam coming to its natural conclusion. 2 minutes of fun in the sun. I see an official review. I'm going to head down to the track.
All right, while the discussion continues, I want to remind everyone once again that Sunday night we will have the MVP games for men's and women's, and I think G.I. Jones has an update for us trackside.
Okay, so the request for review is the fact that we saw 66 Tichborne go to the penalty box for a direction of gameplay, but what in fact the requested penalty is to the jammer of Vancouver who came into the back of the jammer for Denver. And so the request by Denver is a penalty to the Vancouver jammer, swiping off the penalty for number 66, but adding a penalty to the jammer of Vancouver.
And there you have it. So Sunday night we've got the men's and women's Team USA versus Big O MVP games. Those should be amazing. Really good derby, G.I. Jones.
The skill level of the players that we're going to see there, voted on by the teams. As soon as they finish their games, they have a paper and they give in the MVP blocker and jammer. It's compiled, and it's going to be a great, great matchup. So the challenge was unsuccessful. Incidental contact is what's being considered in there. The penalty to number 66, Tichborne, will remain, and the jammer will not go to the penalty box, and we will carry on with a loss of official review.
I've never seen the official percentages on that, but I feel like official reviews are lost more than they're won by a landslide.
Rodriguez did that. What's his name down south? Did that for World Cup one year. I think he evaluated all the official reviews and whether or not they came out or not and how much time was taken up by them. Yeah, you may be correct that they don't always come out positive. Something that is positive is Gordon Walker knocking out Stelly and recycling him. That is a definite as Memero makes his way through the pack on a scoring pass.
He's up to 10 so far on the jam. And looking to add to it here, he'll be recycled back down that line, the straightaway between turns 2 and 3. Hedalius with a big hit there on the corner.
Stelly through the pack. Penalty being issued. There we go. The blue 1-1. Cruz is going to head to the penalty box. And the jam is going to get called before Stelly can make his way into the pack. But 5 going up to Memero as he calls it off. I'm expecting that to be 15 up on there.
Yeah, that was my unofficial calculation as well.
But now I see a 0 up in this guy, so I'm not too sure. Okay. Sits at 10.
Fortunately, announcers are held to a lower standard when it comes to officiating.
Totally. I don't need to count. I just need to look at the numbers in the sky.
Sparrow out there for Denver, but getting out first, Mr. Testosterone, Lee Jammer, Vancouver, pushing out in turn 2.
And jumping over Bennett's skate as he passed through the pack for the picking up lead. And I thought Bennett was going to get a low block on his own player, but it was actually a back block against the Denver blocker. And Testosterone through the pack for 4 points.
Vancouver all walled up at the front, and getting through 4-4 is Sparrow, number 98, for the ground control. We had an improper pass, missing out on 1 point opportunity. And that'll happen with the skaters down, out, that sort of thing, G.I. Jones.
But Mr. T just walking past the blocking of Denver. He just did a little bit of a tiny apex jump there, picked up 5 points this time. And yes, he's not even getting touched as he's going through right now.
Sparrow up against that red 2 wall near the front. He's got one to beat and pushed out hard. That's a shot from 17 Zimmer. Really gave it to him.
But he got a forearm on it, and Sparrow is going back on the track.
And sometimes when you take the jammer down, it's almost worth it, G.I. Jones.
You know what? If you're going to take a penalty, as long as you don't take 7 of them, and you look at the clock before you do it, yes, that is damaging to a jammer's morale to get knocked out and recycled repeatedly. That is a key component to men's roller derby. It's huge. The knockout and recycle, that can just destroy a jammer.
Mr. Testosterone, 5 on the last pass, 4 for Sparrow. It looks like we might have a back block.
No, it is a multiplayer block to Denver. No call on that hit.
That was a sizable fall there for Salvador. He gets out under his own power, so that's always good to see.
And it looks like we're at halftime. Just to let you know, I've been hit by Testosterone before, and no matter where he hits you, usually you fly. He has some solid hitting, and that can be a very heavy hit, heavy-looking hit, but not always a penalty. Okay, see you guys back in 9 minutes.
A clear path through the pack almost never exists. So we fight and make our own.
Roller Derby Athletics takes the guesswork out of off-skate training, helping you become safe, strong, and unstoppable. Here's what skaters from around the world are saying.
Lots of great advice and things that helped me after I broke my ankle and had
I've lost 90 pounds and discovered my A game.
Love that site.
And the
rehab
workouts.
has been amazing. It's really worth the investment in her
Booty
programs.
Quake rocks. You won't regret the investment.
Want to see for yourself? Sign up today for our free Basics Builder program and transform your game with Roller Derby Athletics.
A lot of very impressive people in roller derby.
This was definitely a proud moment for me, wearing the black, white, and red.
I care about this thing more than I care about any other article of clothing in my wardrobe.
This represents to me like 7 years of blood, sweat, and tears.
Glitter is fun and hardcore. I've learned that it's hardcore.
My uniform is always in pristine condition.
My truck is purple, my shoes are purple, my underwear are purple.
It takes a lot of drive and a lot of passion to keep going in roller derby.
Sometimes when you play roller derby, you're just kind of like, why am I doing this? This is so weird.
I just can't imagine that I'd get more kicks like playing golf than I do hitting a you know. Feels good.
My name is Rachel Rotten.
My name is Midge Wilhelm.
I'm Fifi Nomenon.
I'm Jackie Daniels.
My name's Steph Maney.
Hi, I'm Scald Eagle.
And S1.
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 And S1 is part of my uniform.
The Arius Platinum is packed with new features. Reinforced toe section. Increased toe stop clamping power. Winged truck with split cushion design for easy assembly and installation. The new Arius Platinum, performance redefined.
Hey, this is Dan from S1 Helmets. We're in the testing lab today testing helmets to see if they pass the multiple impact certification test. We're going to be testing 3 helmets today. There's a soft foam helmet with EVA foam and a terry cloth liner. There's a hockey helmet with triple density EVA foam. The S1 Lifer helmet with EPS fusion foam. All 3 of these helmets are marketed as multiple impact helmets. We're going to test all of them today and see which ones actually pass the test. The multiple impact test is when we drop a helmet to achieve a velocity of 4.57 meters per second. This simulates a 10-mile-an-hour impact or a 4-foot drop. The same helmet is tested 3 times in the same location. The helmet must reduce the energy pulse to under 300 Gs each time. Anything over 300 Gs can result in a traumatic brain injury or a severe concussion. In summary, the soft foam helmet with EVA foam and the hockey helmet with triple density foam did not pass the multiple impact test. The S1 Lifer helmet with EPS fusion foam did pass the multiple impact test.
At Roller Derby Athletics, we take the guesswork out of off-skate training so you can focus on being fierce. We help you transform your game without a lot of time or equipment. With 5 training programs plus all-star memberships, there's an option to suit every athlete. And we train skaters worldwide with high-quality video instruction and online support. At Roller Derby Athletics, we empower you to be safe, strong, and unstoppable. Want to see for yourself? Sign up today for our free Basics Builder program.
Hi, Ivana Nispenkin and Trish the Dish here to tell you about Sin City Skates. Sin City Skates began in our living room in 2005 and has since grown into this 2,000 square foot warehouse and showroom where we stock everything for derby. If it's derby related, we probably have it. Need help? With a combined on-track derby experience of over 24 years and still playing, we test everything we sell and we know the difference between facts and our opinions. We're always happy to share both with you to help you make the right decisions. So call us, SinCitySkates.com.
I love teamwork when it comes naturally, and it's almost like your teammate is an extension of your own body. That anticipation, where you've worked cerebrally through strategy and skills, and suddenly you're out there in a game and it all comes naturally because you know each other. I love that.
So when I first went into Fast Girl Skates, it was like being a kid in a candy
I skate
shop.
on the Antic AR1 boot with Crazy Venus plates and Atom D-Rod wheels.
As I've grown as a skater, Fast Girl has also helped my skates to grow with me.
What's your favorite thing that you got at the store?
Probably my gear. I'm Doubled Megs, and I'm a Fast Girl.
I'm Vex Factor, and I'm a Fast Girl.
I'm a Salted Peanut, and I'm a Fast Girl.
I'm Afro Jamra, and I'm a Fast Girl. You can be a Fast Girl, too.
Skaters, lost your mouth guard? Hit this. Time for an upgrade? Hit this. New to Derby and not sure where to start? Hit this. We are Derby owned and operated with 6 years of experience. Hit This Derby Gear can hook you up with skates, gear, and honest advice based on your skating style and individual needs. Visit us at our store in Salem, Oregon, or online at www.hitthisderbygear.com.
Click.
Whether you are a new
We
or
are
veteran
back.
skater, before
We're
you
a
hit the
minute
track,
away from the end
hit
of halftime
this.
and the second half of the
Hi,
Vancouver
I'm
Murder
Trish
Denver
and this is
Crowd
Ivana
Control
Espanca. We're
Men's
here to
Roller
tell
Derby
you about Sin City
Association.
Skates. Sin City Skates began in our Las Vegas
Sorry.
living room in
As I was
2005.
saying
The
that,
first shop ever dedicated to roller
Detmer
derby,
just
and has since grown
planted
into
on
this
the,
2,000
he fell
square
over a
foot
line
mecca in San
coming onto
Diego,
the track.
where we stock everything.
Yeah,
for
we're
our
getting ready
sport.
for the second
Need help?
period of
With
play. We're
combined
excited to be here
on-track
once again.
experience
I
of
am
over 24
HP
years
Shovecraft.
and still
I'm joined by the
playing. We
lovely
test everything
and
we
always
sell, and
intelligent
we're happy to
G.I.
share that
Jones.
experience
Wow,
and
that's
knowledge
quite
with
the
you.
compliment. I
So
appreciate
contact
that.
us,
I've been asked to,
SinCitySkates.com.
of course, remind everybody that between tracks 2 and 3, there are tables full of merchandise, including those merchandise pieces from the Vancouver Murder, who are here out on the track right now. And I believe there might be some Team Canada merch there as well. Yes, look at that. There's a Team Canada t-shirt. Of course, support your local Canadians and buy some of that merch because money. Our dollars like worth nothing compared to yours. So you might as well buy like 20 of those American shirts, and then we can pay for the whole trip to Calgary, Alberta, for the Vancouver Murder members that are part of Team Canada. I don't know.
I love that we have local Canadians. That's pretty cool.
Yes, of course. Local Canadians.
Once again, we do want to remind everyone about Fast Girl Skates. Fast Girl Skates here all weekend long. Proud sponsor of the Big O. This WFTDA approved tournament.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Recognized, I believe, is the terminology.
Recognize is the word.
There we go.
That is the word. And recognize, I'm recognizing Stelly out of the pack first with lead for Denver. Mr. Testosterone hot on his tail.
3-wall for the Murder at the front. Mr. Testosterone lobbying for points. You almost never see that. Jammers almost never lobby for points,
No,
G.I.
never.
Jones.
Oh, and a negotiation is successful by Mr. T. One on the track, one on the box, 2, and boom. And they go up on the Jam ref's hands because he was right. A little discussion here, though, as you saw Stelly. Exactly. We were looking to pick up the points for Stelly's pass that happened here. Boom. He gets 3 because why not?
And while they're chatting that out, we do want to remind everyone about Rydell Skates. Rydell Skates, unmatched quality, unmatched performance. That's Rydell Skates.
So not just one jammer asking for points and getting them, but both jammers successful in adding extra points onto their scores for this first jam of the second half. So, of course, Denver won that 3-2, in the points department. First jam, second half.
And for those of you at home, because this is a hybrid call, so we're doing house and web, we've got Denver Blue Tops. They're at 57. Red is all the way from Vancouver, Canada. We super love our Canadian friends and family to the north.
Local Canadians.
That's right. They are at 209, and they are once again in red. This is 29-20 in the second period of play. And G.I. Jones and I, HB Shuffcraft, excited to be here with you for one more period of play.
And Murphy's Law, of course, says that now that I've announced the points, that 1 point is coming off of the 3 for Denver. And it was 2 points per jammer on that last jam. So on the track now, we've got Hughes and Lodge. Hughes up at the front with the Vancouver wall as Lodge makes his way through the Denver defense, taking the outside line, staying in bounds, but not before Hughes gets through and picks up lead.
Number 11 for Denver is Cruz, and he's been holding down that inside line for ground control. And speaking of holding it down, Svensson on the line for the murder, bringing the beard.
It's all about the beard on that team, I tell you. And it's very interesting to see Gordon Walker with a beard. From what I understand, he's been growing that for at least a year, judging by the growth on his face. Started out quite patchy, and now it's almost a real beard, just like the other guys.
I think it's one of those Chia projects, right? Similar to Chio Obama.
Something like that. He, of course, the youngest on the team, gets to put up with all the teasing.
6'8" is Boudicca for the Vancouver Murderer, and that's number 72, Stelly for Denver.
The whistle goes. Neither one of them move, and then they both break out of the back. Oh, a forearm on Stelly as he got a little bit of an assist attempting to get through.
Boudicca dumped unceremoniously into turn 1, and Dittmer saying, hey, what about me? That looked like a cut. Sometimes the officials don't agree, though, with the skaters.
That's how it goes, right? But if you get the penalty, then you're out of play and there's no cut. So I didn't quite catch that, but Boudicca dealing with only one blocker, or 2 actually, as he gets through, picks up 5, puts him on the scoreboard.
And Boudicca knocked down once again in turn 2. Denver really playing tight to the line on the inside. That's Dittmer sitting on it right now.
A little too tight because we ended up with a penalty to Broderick for multiplayer.
And Boudicca threw for 5 for the murder.
And Stelly finally threw on his scoring pass, for his first scoring pass, my mistake.
Stelly with just a 180 there, no big deal. And it looks like 3 points awarded at the end of the jam.
To Vancouver. And 0, Stelly was not able to get in fast enough, though he was soaring speed-wise. He definitely had the speed for it, but did not hit and pass any opposing team's players. Mimero on the line up against Sparrow. 2 skaters in the box, 1 for each team. It should put some light defense out there, but that's not going to stop Denver from locking down Mimero and not allowing him through the pack.
Sparrow with a little gear adjustment there in turn 1. You don't want that knee pad out of place when you take a big hit, G.I. Jones.
That is true. If you've ever taken a hit on, fallen on any part of your body without the pad covering it, it hurts. Mimero through the pack, gets his first scoring pass. And calls off the jam for 3 points before Denver can get anything on the board.
That was Salvador in the thick of things once again for ground control. Something else that sounds thick is Fingers Duke.
Yes.
They have amazing gear. I got myself a Boba Fett Flower Power shirt yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I saw that gear. That's pretty snazzy stuff. All kinds of sci-fi, aliens, and Star Wars stuff there.
Star Wars FTW. Also FTW is our 2 jammers right now. We've got 110 Mr. Testosterone, who's just been ripping it up for Vancouver. But out near the front is number 72. That's Stelly for the ground control, all the way from Denver.
Oh, Testosterone picking up a low block. That's going to put Stelly out there on a power jam. Just what he needs. He took off out of the the jam start there and danced around, presented his back to the opposing team, and managed to get through, avoiding any penalties, and picked up lead. Now has a power jam.
Stand aside last line of defense last time through. Stelly making a pass. He gets through here as well, and he should be up to 10, and he is, as Denver with an opportunity here to try to even things up, G.I. Jones.
That's right. It's going to take a long climb, but they're willing to do it. They're mountain men, if I'm not mistaken. Denver, Colorado, and all, so they can climb. And Stelly is doing that right now as he dances past Tischborn.
Stelly doing a great job of presenting no legal target there as he made his way past that last line of defense.
Watching him skate, I mean, he is ready, and he will throw his back at you if you come at him. And, then you're going to get your back block penalty, and that's just making it easier for him to get through the pack.
Smart jammer play.
Awesome jammer play.
One of the ways that you get to stay smart is if you can take care of your bean, your brain, and that's S1 helmets. S1 make the best helmets and pads for roller derby, and that's S1 helmets.
Yes, and S1, of course, now having knee pads. I just noticed them. Very shiny knee pads out on their table. Be sure to check those out as well. And on the track, we've got Lodge and Hughes. Lodge getting out first with a lead as Hughes gets a no pass, no penalty and does not pick up lead.
And Denver walled up there in turn 2. Lodge through. Points awarded 4.
Yeah, Walker getting a penalty for cutting. Discussing the fact that he didn't actually cut anybody. It's kind of like in hockey. You get the penalty in hockey and you see it on television. You watch them talking to the refs. I'll say talking to the refs. Never
Just
reverses that penalty.
Tea and biscuits, polite chat. That's really what it's about.
Yeah.
72 Stelly out. Lead jammer for ground control.
And Boudicca not able to get anywhere past the Denver ground control's defense. And Stelly, just a little dance around, gets through, picks up 5 points.
Boudicca now on his initial pass. And Denver with all 4 blockers. It's 4-on-1 in the pack. 17th Zimmer, game to try. Stelly getting hips around.
That was beautiful. Zimmer going up against Stelly. That amazing footwork between the two. Zimmer was out there by himself. Normally when that happens, the jammer just sneaks right by it. There's nothing. Nope, Zimmer managed to contact him, and Stelly giving him a thumbs up as he skates away. Impressed with his skills.
Zimmer's cat-like reflexes. 4-3 is Hughes for Denver. And Denver trying to put some points up here as they trail 86-229. Red shirts once again Vancouver. Blue is the ground control.
And Mamero with the last Denver blocker and pushing through. There we go. He gets lead.
And Hughes knocked out of bounds there.
No, he was not. He stayed in bounds. We had NSOs in front of us, but he kept his feet on the track and was able to get through.
Line of sight. Line of sight's a good thing, G.I. Jones.
Yeah, being able to see the track as an announcer is wonderful.
Let's talk about Radar wheels. Radar, I hope you see when you can't. Visit the Radar booth and register to win a free set of the all-new Radar Halo wheels. That's Radar wheels.
Okay, we've got a pack advantage going to Denver on this. 3 blockers against Vancouver's 2 blockers. Mr. T right there ready to go. Mr. T is going to take a blocking position. Discussed with stand aside before that.
Stelly almost tightrope that, but Mr. Testosterone blew through the inside, lowering the boom on number 7, Detmer.
And Stelly getting a cutting the track penalty as he launched off of Zimmer and cut the corner, but picked up a penalty. Mr. T out there, 5 points in the air and a power jam.
And it looks like we've got pack advantage for, no, sorry, even up in the pack. Once again, line of sight. And through Mr. Testosterone, he picks up 5 points, adding to that murder total.
And Mr. T attempting both sides of the track, pulling the defense from one side to the other. Oh, Hedelius being actually a brace as his teammates pushed Mr. T into him and kept him on the track.
It's kind of funny, every once in a while you see a skater checking back with the official just to make sure that thing that they tried didn't result in a penalty.
Yeah, and boom, 0 points awarded to Stelly on that. But a penalty was called here and everybody stopped. They felt it was like the 4 whistles for some reason, and everybody looked around. One of the players even was like, call it, and it didn't happen. So Mr. T went through for another pass.
Why not, right?
19 points.
We're down to 18:40 here in this second period. The final day of awesome derby from Eugene, Oregon. A big shout out to ECRG, Emerald City, sponsoring the entire weekend, and they did change their name to Emerald City Derby, I believe.
Emerald City Roller Derby.
There you go.
ECRD from the G. So you see our volunteers kicking around with both things written on their shirts, depending when the shirts were made.
A rebranding, if you will.
Well, yeah, it's definitely with the way things are going gender-wise in this world these days, it's safer to stick with roller derby as opposed to roller girls.
98 Sparrow out on his initial pass. And Lodge picking up points, 4 points for Vancouver. And we've got some after-party stuff going on tonight. We do have an all-ages party, and we've also got an adult party, and it's about 9 sheets deep. There it is. That is the Wayward Lamb for 21 and up. Music by DJ Meow. If you've not had the pleasure, he knows how to spin the discs. You definitely want to check that out at 9 p.m. And then we also have an all-ages at Sizzle Pie. That's 910 Willamette Street, right in the heart of downtown Eugene. Stelly.
Out of the pack first with lead as we stereo announce that. Budakra being recycled back, has not made his initial pass yet. He's trying for that outside line. He has been successful with that this weekend, but not this time. Denver has his number.
And Stelly with moves there on stand aside, and then attempting once again that 360 on the inside turn 2. He's recycled.
It looks like we've got a star pass from Budakra to stand aside. Number 68 pass to number 4.
You see it a lot of in women's, but not as much today in the MRDA games that I've seen so far this weekend.
Star passing? Yeah, it's not a frequent thing. I mean, the reasoning behind it, I can't even fathom. You know, I could be that guy and say, oh, it's because guys are too macho to hand off their thing, but that's completely not relevant at all, and it's not the case. The opportunity just doesn't come up. I mean, you see how fast these guys are powering through the pack. You know, it's hit it and quit it or don't, and then they just keep going and they persevere. The strategic pass of, you know, once the first person's out, hand it off, it just doesn't happen in MRDA for whatever reason.
Because
reasons. There you go. And Mimiro out of the pack first with lead for Vancouver.
Stelly out now as well. Initial pass for the ground control.
That is the junior Stelly, the younger of the two.
I think everyone knew what was supposed to happen on that play.
That's Gordon Walker once again, of course, making noise. And Mimiro has focus. He gets into the game and gets into the danger zone and then doesn't hear that sometimes, from what I've seen historically.
I think that was Kenny Loggins with the danger zone, if I remember correctly. We've got 94 for blue shirts. That's Denver. 265 is Vancouver Murder. 15:02 here in the second period. And back to the line, we've got Mr. Testosterone red for Vancouver blue, Stelly, 72.
Stelly going down, trying to stay in off his own player, but ends up pulling down his fellow Denver ground control mate. Mr. T through the pack with lead. Stelly through and out of the pack as Mr. T gets, oh, hello. Mr. T turned around, thought he was safe. That was not the case.
Hedelius with
just knocked him on his back. That was gorgeous. And he came up smiling and helped him up and picked up a penalty for that hit, though.
That was a complete pancake. No butter with that one.
Yeah, that'll be a good one to put on the replay reel. Hits of the weekend. And Lodge out there against Hughes. Lodge staying inbounds by pushing off of Walker, putting Walker into the middle. And Hughes stuck in the pack as Lodge picks up lead. Oh, look at that.
The entire Denver wall collapsed in turn one, and it looks like we do have Lodge through. He picks up 5 points on the pass.
Lodge through, and as he passed the opposing team's jammer, who was fighting against the Vancouver wall, he noticed that they were unbalanced, stopped, and held them up until they were stable again, and then took off to call off the jam.
Friendly neighborhood jammer assist there on the wall.
Friendly neighborhood with a U because Canadian. We love throwing those extra U's in every now and then.
Oh no, Stelly down. Oh, he's recovered. Good.
Oh,
72 Stelly. 110, Mr. Testosterone.
Wow. Look at him. That was 2 hits in a row he dodged and is still going. But Mr. Testosterone out of the pack first and will get lead as Stelly chases him down this time. A role reversal from the last time we saw these two both out of the pack at the same time. And Stelly sees the outside. Sneaks past, picks up 3 to Testosterone's 1.
And more lobbying there.
Let's negotiate those points. But only 1 sticks on the board for Vancouver. And a discussion on the Vancouver bench about impact versus actual penalties earned. Of course, a lot of penalties out there. You might get hit really hard, but if there's no impact, the refs won't call it, especially in MRDA. The MRDA refs will tell you that reffing a men's game is definitely different from reffing a women's game.
How so?
The hits are hard and heavy, but they don't always have impact, right? They will hit hard. It'll look bad, but really the guy gets up or doesn't even move, and so there's no impact, so there's no penalty in some cases.
It's funny because I see that in other leagues as well, not just men's. Sometimes huge hits equate to penalties, but huge legal hits are okay.
Exactly. I mean, if I'm presenting my front to somebody and I get a huge hit and I fly 10 feet, you know what? It was a legal hitting zone, and I made the mistake of being a target. But you'll see sometimes the refs will call that, I won't say dramatic penalty, but that heavy hit as a penalty when it really shouldn't be.
Looks like we got a team timeout. This is a great time to tell everyone about RollerCon. 8 tracks, 70 coaches, 160 challenges, 24 bouts, uncountable seminars. How many? Uncountable. Social events and vendors, plus 1 uterus-shaped 24-hour-a-day pool derby summer camp every July.
And let me tell you, RollerCon isn't just for skaters. As you and I both know, if you think announcing is something you'd love to do, there will be announcing seminars. And this year, I think myself, I might put on a photography seminar. I am a roller derby photographer, and a lot of people always have questions about roller derby photography. And I'm probably going to put in for a class on that, just to give people a, hey, this is what photographers do, and this is how to do it and do it right. But there's so much to learn. There's face painting classes. Demand a Riot, Scald Eagle did that last year, the year before. Announcing sessions with Val Capone, Tara Armoff. Just all kinds of stuff to learn at RollerCon. Highly encouraged. MVP passes coming out every day. They're all gone, but people unable to attend. So keep an eye on the RollerCon page and check out for MVP passes. Come join us.
great learning environment for all aspects of
Yes,
roller
don't be
derby,
shy.
for sure.
There's so many chances to announce. Get out there and try it.
Number 8, Lodge to the line for the Murderer, and he is opposed by number 72, Stelly, who's been doing a great job today for Denver Ground Control.
And Stelly facing off against Walker. Walker, of course, just so skilled out there at getting those jammers out. And there's that extra little bit of oomph that he presents to the track as he catches up with Stelly. But Stelly makes his way out of the pack, and Lodge decides to not give Stelly any chance to pick up any points, calls off the jam.
And once again, for those of you at home, blue tops are Denver, red tops are Vancouver, and that's 99 points Denver, 282 for the Murder.
Sounds like the Denver ladies are out there helping out their league mates and cheering them on. They've only got 1 point before they crock over 100. And looks like the Terminal City ladies are out there as well, supporting the Vancouver men's team. We got red and blue in the stands, red and blue on the track, and right now, blue is trying to take the outside line and get lead, but gets locked down as Mimero makes his way through the pack and takes lead for Vancouver.
Hughes out there for Denver, and now chest to chest. They're going to battle it out in turn 2. Or not. Maybe just lean on each other for a little while.
Lean on me when you're not strong. And he calls it off because he was killing the penalties. Zimmer in the penalty box. Mimero was just killing time. On the jam line, we've got number 98, Sparrow, up against number 68, Budakra.
And we're even up all the skaters on the track.
And Sparrow gets knocked out by Stand Aside. Recycled back, Budakra with lead, but Budakra gets cleaned off and brought back by Hedelius. That'll put him right back at the back of the pack, and he has to try it all over again.
Switching off on recycling, Sparrow in the back now as well. Looks like he's one-on-one with Stand Aside on that inside line.
Great to see both teams considering that all the fans are over there and keeping the game on turn 1 and 2.
We call it courtesy where I come from, G.I. Jones.
Yeah, that's right. Budakra still lead, but gets knocked out and recycled again as the Vancouver team decides that they're going to go sit in the penalty box and take a break, leaving Stand Aside out there with Bennett to handle the jammer. And both jammers are out.
We're 2-on-2 now in the pack as all of the skaters choosing to leave for some reason.
And look at how sparse that track is. Ground control not happy with the 0 points. Because of course if they get 1, they get 3 for the 2 ghost points in the penalty box.
1 will get you 3. Good translation there.
Yes, and negotiation by the coach results in a 0 and no change to the score. So back to the track again, still 2-on-2, blocking against Testosterone, and whoa, Stelly makes it look easy as he goes over the apex and lands backwards and looks back at the back.
Saying hello, waving as he goes. He's got to get through a 2-wall here at the front. He's on the edge, and points, 3 points on the way by.
And Stand Aside looking for a skating out of bounds call. And the head ref looks like he's going to chat with the OPRs and see whether or not that is the case.
And I'll be honest, if I had a choice between getting slugged by one of these guys or skating out of bounds, I might take B.
Yes, but of course that results in a penalty. So as I said, we're going to see an official timeout as the NSO was lining up for 5 seconds. And they're going to discuss it.
And that'll give us a chance to talk about left turn clothing, uniforms that move with you, left turn clothing.
Agreed. Great group. Go. There you go. 2 points up on the board. No penalty given for that. And left turn clothing, yes, the Glenmore Reservoir Dogs, the team I'm with, we wear left turn clothing. Great pieces of kit.
Actually, I think my home team uses them as well, the team I coach back at the Cherry City Roller Derby.
Good stuff. Shout out to them. Might as well drop our leagues in while we're announcing. Come
Why
on.
not?
They're sitting at home, hopefully watching.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed also for Stelly right now on the line for Denver. Blue top, Lodge 8. Red top, that's Vancouver.
And a multiplayer block given out to 1-1-1. No. 1-4-1 for Calgary. Vancouver, my mistake. And lead has been issued to Denver ground control.
Yeah, Stelly trying to burst through there in turn 3. Almost taken down by Walker, but he spins out of it, picking up 4 points on the way by.
And Lodge is still trying to get by on his initial. And Walker picking up a high block, which allows Stelly to pop through once again and pick up 5 points. Lodge still locked down behind that Denver defense, and Vancouver stuck with one blocker out there, and Stelly makes easy work of him and picks up 5 points.
Not easy one-on-one with a jammer. Stelly with a good juke, breaking his legs there.
And Stelly calling off the jam, locking Vancouver down to 0. That's a 14-0 win. Wait. A 15-0 win on that jam for Denver. One more up on the board.
And Vancouver looking for one more. They were a little short on the track. They worked it out. Stand aside is the brace. It's a 3-wall for the murder at the front.
A slow start here with Mimero and Stelly. Both jammers sharing space on the track, and now they've split up, both going into their respective opposing lines. Gordon Walker just going in there, looking completely unstable, but managing to move stuff enough for Mimero to get out of the pack and pick up lead for Vancouver.
Stelly trying that inside flip. He's done a couple times with a 180 or a 360 down the line. Couldn't quite land it. And a takedown there for ground control in turn 2.
Penalty given for a forearm to Mimero. That's going to be a power jam situation for Stelly and his Denver ground control. Vancouver wall, there's that sausage I was telling you about earlier, where they line up one behind the other and lock down the jammer. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Walker almost managed to pull that cut track on Stelly. Stelly straddling the line, remaining out of bounds.
Stand aside attempting to push Stelly into the middle, not having it. Stelly now pushed out by Tischborn in turn 1.
Tischborn getting a cutting the track penalty on that move there as he stepped back inbounds, but pushed Gordon back, which recycled and brought Stelly back.
And Stelly down the line, flipping, picking up 5.
Oh, Stelly trying to call it off, but I guess he did not have lead. No pass, no penalty, or something to that effect.
Denver all walled up at the back. Vancouver in a 3-wall at the front. Stand aside with a takedown in turn 3.
And 2 up for each team on that pass. Okay, and this just in. I've always wanted to say that. The MVP rosters will be announced at the end of the current Texas Bay Area game on track 1. So if you're anticipating being an MVP, or you want to find out if any of your buddies are going to be out there, we need a medical staff to the Denver bench, please. Just one.
All
on
right,
the track, Mr. T gets a cutting the track Watch out, T. There's people in front of the penalty box.
Screened off there momentarily, but this is indeed a power jam for ground control with an opportunity to put some points up. That's Hughes working that inside line. He grabs lead, knocked down by Zimmer.
I was going to say lead wasn't given yet, but it is now. Hughes has it, and he has a power jam.
Hits are being given out as gifts right now.
And Hughes going in, he's going up against that 3 wall. Heavy, heavy hit, but unable to sneak by yet. Up against Zimmer and Nelson. And T gets another cutting the track penalty as he came back out of the penalty box just in time to go back in.
He was with us ever so briefly.
And at 0 points, as the engagement zone was never left and points weren't picked up.
1, 2, 3 for Denver. Blue Tops, Red Tops, Vancouver. 2-9-3. We're down to just over a minute left in this game.
Holy smokes, where'd the time go?
It went away.
Wow. When's the third period start?
That's at the bar, and I'll see you there. First round's on Big O.
First round's on Phil Dirt, who's not here. I'm sure he's going to buy us something. And Stelly out of the pack first with lead for Denver.
And trying to push into it in turn 2. He'll be recycled. Try to do it again. Getting a little help here on this sweep from ground control. Five points awarded for Stelly. And Mr. Testosterone back on the track on his initial pass.
Whoopa, no. And cutting the track penalty. Stelly attempting that apex jump. 1 minute left in this game. Mr. T on a power jam. Stelly in the penalty box.
Mr. Testosterone spinning there. Looks like Salvador, one of the blockers in the middle. He's the pivot for Denver. Knocked down by Broderick. And Mr. Testosterone moving to the inside line. He is through for 5 points for the murder. Favoring his left leg. Might have taken a shot there in the meat of it.
Gotta love those Charlie horses. And Stelly going into the pack gently. And trying, but getting taken out by Nelson. No, correction, Russian Destruction. Russian Destruction heading to the penalty box. Stelly surviving that hit by Zimmer, but not from Walker. Walker in front of him now with stand aside.
4 more points awarded on the last pass. Stelly
Look at that.
Pivoting on his toe stops, knocked down in turn 4.
That footwork was incredible to watch right in front of us. And that game is over with an unofficial final score coming up 3-12 to 133. We had to let them count points and then call it. I mean, fairly safe to say that the success will have been Vancouver's.
It would take some really big math errors to change that, I think. It's been a real thrill, G.I. Jones. I am HP Shuffcraft from the Cherry City Roller Derby League.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you in half an hour back here on the track.